Cystic Fibrosis Foundation is a wonderful organization. It was founded about 30 years ago, and it was founded with probably as much purpose as any organization that you can imagine, because at that time the average lifespan of a child that was born with cystic fibrosis was under 3 years old. And it is it's a terminal disease to this point, and so, but it also is a fairly unique disease in that you can live a fruitful life while you have it, until at some point it catches up with you, because it just chokes out your lungs and you can't breathe. And so the purpose of cystic fibrosis was basically to say for the folks in America that have it, that they're going to do the research necessary to come up with drugs and treatments that would extend the life of these people. And over 30 years, they've been able to extend the life from an average of under 3 years to 37 years, and in many cases, people lead very long and fruitful lives with cystic fibrosis, even though at this point it's still not curable. I like the chocolate event. It's very good. They have several restaurants around the city of Atlanta that they put their finest chocolate delicacy out there, whatever dessert they make that they're most proud of, that's made out of chocolate, and then you buy your $50 ticket and you go to chocolate and you just have a big party, and at some point during the party you realize that you've eaten more chocolate that night than you probably have in any 2-hour span in your entire lifetime. But it's a lot of fun. That's a fun event too, because it tends to be an awfully it's very well supported by young adults. You just see and it's for somebody who's not a young adult anymore, you go in there and it's just nice to see young people in their 20s and early 30s that are participating in an event like that that's so worthwhile. Our tendency, as human beings, is to get involved with things that people we respect are involved with. Certainly, if you have someone in your family who has cystic fibrosis, you're driven by a different issue. But a lot of people will look at it and say, is this important or is it not? And how much do I really want to get involved? Well, when you see famous people who you respect are involved in it, that's certainly an influence. And then when you go to an event and you think, oh, some of these famous people may be there. It's like going to the Super Bowl party or something. The first thing you do is look around and see who the celebs are. You want to know who's hanging around with you. You just want to see who's there. So the NFL players or NFL Alumni Association is perfect, because you suddenly have an event and the prestige and the electricity of that event goes up. It's a happening because the right people are involved, the people who you look at and you've respected for a long time during your lifetime. Corporations are have personalities just like people do, and you tend to respect personalities or corporations based on what they care about. And if you have a corporation where you see that people reach out and engage in things that are meaningful in the community, you just feel better about it. And that, whether it's customers, whether it's investors, whether it's just people in the neighborhood and the community, for them to look at it and say this company cared enough to support this cystic fibrosis event, the chocolate event or wine tasting event, whatever it may be. It makes a statement. It also, by the way, makes a big statement for the people internally, because even if someone doesn't have a child affected by cystic fibrosis, or doesn't have someone in their family, they may well have a neighbor. They may well have a friend over the years who's had it, and they look at it and it's nice to feel that you work for a company that has heart. You want to feel good about things. That's part of being a brand. Brand names stand for things, and if all you're going to stand for is what's in a box or what's in a bottle and the ingredients, that's a commodity. But if you stand for things bigger than life, if they look at that particular product and say that product stands for an awful lot of things that mean something to me, people are willing to pay a little more money, and they certainly are willing to buy it more often. I just think Cystic Fibrosis is a wonderful organization with about as clear a purpose and as good a cause as you could ever find. And I think I'm proud to be involved, and I'm also very thankful that the NFL Alumni Association would want to be involved, because that's a major statement of confidence and support for a wonderful cause.
Yes, I was a gymnast growing up, and I competed internationally. And then I had an injury, as many gymnasts do. And then through my years at the University of Notre Dame, I was a varsity cheerleader. I'm also a patient with cystic fibrosis. I was diagnosed at the age of 5.5 months. As many families, my parents were not aware that they were genetic carriers of the disease. My sister was 6 years older than I was, had no health issues at all, and when I was born, a very healthy baby, and at about 4.5 months, I started experiencing some pulmonary issues that then went to digestive issues. I eventually came down with a very serious case of pneumonia, and some doctor finally diagnosed me with cystic fibrosis. So since the age of 5.5 months, I have been battling the disease. I would say, although some people would not agree, that I have been blessed to have this disease. It gives you a very different perspective on life. I think it makes you much more pleased with every day that you get to enjoy. I certainly work at my health. As you know, some people might say that when you see a person with cystic fibrosis, you may not know that they have it. That might be true in many instances, but I can also tell you that they do quite a bit behind the scenes to remain healthy. And I have a regimen of about an hour and a half each day that I do in the morning and at night to keep my health and to battle all of the different aspects of cystic fibrosis. But when I was very young, they were really just in the initial stages of the best aspects of battling the disease. And the foundation in San Diego, where I grew up at the time, used to put on a camp that was really nice because every child there either had CF or they were a sibling of a child with CF. And my first memory was going to the camp with my older sister, and because I had an older sibling there, the age you would cut off was usually 5, but I got to go at 4.5. And my sister and I went for several years for a week in the summertime. And there it was different because everyone was battling the disease and you didn't stand out. It was just more of a comfort zone. Fundraising is what keeps the foundation going, and it is very important. I would like to think that a corporation or an individual who would like to get involved with the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation would need to know the importance of fundraising. Currently, the CF Foundation donates 93 cents of every dollar donated to research. That is extremely high. It is absolutely fantastic that for every dollar donated, you know that 93 cents is going to go help research. No ifs, ands, or buts. I was so pleased to hear that the NFL Alumni Association had chosen the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation as one of their charities of choice. It is vital to have not only the reputation of a group such as that, but also the involvement and the individuals and the financial resources that they bring to the table to really take Cystic Fibrosis Foundation to the next level. We need groups like the NFL Alumni Association to continue to get this disease in front of everybody in America, because we can fight this and we can win this. And it's with groups like the NFL Alumni that will have enough resources, enough promotional information that gets in front of everyone, and we'll be able to make a difference with them.
For over 20 years, the NFL Alumni's Caring for Kids program has raised millions of dollars for children's charity. When considering the NFL Alumni's commitment to getting the maximum amount of money raised to children who need it most, partnering with Cystic Fibrosis Foundation is an obvious winning team. In fact, the National Institute of Health has cited the CFF network as a model of effective and efficient healthcare delivery system for chronic disease. The money raised by CFF has extended lives for hundreds of thousands of children around the world. Our Legends of the Gridiron are proud and excited to be part of this championship team. We're transforming charity events into a lifetime of memories. So get on board and get involved, where you can make legendary acts of your own. Please support Cystic Fibrosis and the CF NFL alumni team. Thank you.